And that was Naomi Sommers with Come Home. I can't think of a more genuine, heartfelt song than this. Just pure love behind those lyrics. Wouldn't you say, Naomi?
That's true. It's a very much an autobiographical. Well, I mean, I actually it begins. I want to send messages to you, and I actually wrote it as a letter. Like it was a letter to my friend at the beginning, and then I realized it was coming out as a song as I was writing it. Um, this was a couple of years ago now when the Iraq War was happening. And I went to UConn and one like my best friend there joined the army right after he graduated, sort of in like an early midlife crisis moment. Um, and it was just a year into his time in the army that the war started. So he was one of the first troops that was sent to Iraq. And it was just a time when we were really connected. And we sent a lot of letters back and forth. He was even able to call in the middle of the night, like I mentioned in the song. So like, yeah, it was just one of I've I had been writing a lot of songs, but that particular song I think came to me like in one piece more than any other song that I've ever written because it was just like you said, like exactly what I was feeling and all the details of what he was going through and me feeling so connected but also so far away.
This song really to me captures the angst that, people who, care about somebody who's, in a war zone, what you feel, when, there's someone that you really care about there. And that's not an easy thing to really capture. And I think you really did capture that. But I think even more so, the song to me, um, the words and the music together, it makes you feel good. It makes,
Mm.
it's just, it's like life is good, and it's just, it really does. It's a life affirming song to me. Do
Mm.
you also consider it an anti-war song?
I, first of all, I just really love that comment because I also feel that way when I'm singing it. It's like it brings, a tear to you because it's so sad that these that our loved ones are in a war zone. And then at the same time, like I do feel really that it just is a song about sharing love with people who need it and with each other. So
Mhm.
I did try to kind of feel that in the energy of the music. Um, I guess the interesting thing about it also is I'm an anti-war person, but I wasn't trying to put that message in the song overtly. But I think that somehow, like at the time after I wrote it, I was sort of hoping that it could be shared in that way as a reminder to people about the humans who are there. Um, like about the subtleties of all the aspects of who's in the war zone, not just the soldiers but the actual people who live there as well, in Iraq, obviously, and just to remind us of what it really is like when a bomb could be going off and someone isn't there anymore. So
And
it
this
has
is
the
a,
feeling, but not necessarily in direct words.
mhm. And this is a song that you recorded in Nashville, right?
Yeah, I made an album in Nashville with Jim Rooney, who's a wonderful producer who worked with John Prine and Nancy Griffith, and I got this amazing opportunity to make an album with him, which was like one of the highlights of my life so far, just being in the studio for a week with him and these great Nashville musicians and my dad, my brother, the musicians from this area that I've always played with also came down and were part of that album. So I really love how it turned out with like a collection of musicians who are really great.
Where you could definitely tell there's some great backup musicians there on that tune.
Yeah.
What did you play on that?
The dobro player Al Perkins, he's like this legendary dobro player is really good.
The
Tim.
Dobro's awesome on it.
Yeah. It's really cool. And the fiddle player is Tim Crouch, who's a really good musician. My dad's singing harmony on that one too.
Well, that's certainly a beautiful, beautiful tune.
Thank
And
you.
then we got a song ready to hear by Matt Hebert. What is that, Mark?
Gateway Drug.
Gateway Drug by Matt Hebert.